Thank you so much for tuning into the Woman to Woman podcast, a conversation for women like you, smart, successful, curious, and interested in being your best self. Join both Sarah and I as we discuss topics that women our age are actually interested in, with both of us being candid and often having differing views.
As coaches, we sprinkle in advice and tips, along with humor and vulnerability. We hope you feel like a fly on the wall with two friends. Let's entertain and inform you and welcome you into our friendship.
We appreciate you pressing play and spending some time with us, wherever you are in the world.
Let the magic happen. In today's episode, Angela is sharing one of the process she uses with her clients to help them to set up their resolution or goals for the new year.
And Sarah lovingly plays along, following the process so you guys can have a great example. And then we both shared the importance of setting your goals and particularly the intentions behind them, so you have the roadmap of where you can go and what you can control in your life. Enjoy the ride today. There's a mini visualization exercise as well, and so stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss it.
Enjoy. Good morning, Angela. I am still on holidays. It's just a blessing, to be honest. It's been so long that I've not been on holidays, and now I'm enjoying this chalet really nearby the beach. I can't show you because otherwise the lightning, then it's gonna be different. But I love it. How have you been doing?
I'm good. I'm back from holidays. Mine was not as long as yours, but I feel super refreshed. And I actually, I'm someone who needs to move my energy and go to different places. And so this has been really restoring for me. And I feel good. I'm good, actually. Yeah.
Can you say that actually it has been healing as well, or maybe not?
It is healing for me because, so I went to Sydney where I lived for 6 years, as a very different, that was 6 years of my life being married. I was going to say single, married yet childless. And it was a very different part of my life. And then I had my son in Sydney. And then after that, we left. So going back to Sydney is revisiting a part of me. And it's like I can actually jump to a different chapter of my book. And so I find that really fun. I wouldn't, it's healing as in, I've had a strained relationship with Melbourne at the moment. So it's a little bit healing in that way. I found it a little bit sad, actually, to see Sydney, how it's closed down. Sydney's quite a touristy destination, much more so than Melbourne, and a lot of places had closed. I was in a reasonably touristy area where there wasn't any tourists, and yeah, so that was a little bit unfortunate. And I went out for dinner with friends, and by 9 o'clock everyone had left and it wasn't very busy, which is very unlike Sydney. So yeah, everyone's still recovering. What about you though? You're in a tourist destination right now, I would imagine.
Not so actually. The place where I am is not so touristic. We have few hotels only, but people would go much up in the north, where beaches are much more into, the white sand with palm tree. Here I have the yellow sand, not the white, the yellow sand and no palm tree. It's a different kind of
Topography.
Exactly, thank you. So it's and the hotels are not that luxurious. The hotel that I'm in currently is the it's not a premium. It's not a premium, but because I was traveling alone, I was like, I don't need all of that. The only thing that I need is really connecting my energy. I like you know, with my husband, we are having this discussion. Like, we have standards when we go on holidays together. We want, we appreciate some luxury.
I'm so the
Uh,
same. I'm the
but
same. I'm the
being
same.
alone, it's just like, I don't need all of this, Not that I don't appreciate it, I love it. But now it was just like, no, the only thing that I want is to have my feet on the sand, and just, being able to connect with that energy, because it's a strong energy and so healing. My skin also beneficiate a lot, from all of this. For those who don't know yet, I'm not using any skincare. So not because I'm going to the beach, but it's just because it's a habit. But I can feel that, my skin is definitely different as well when I am after a trip at the beach. But anyway, so this is what I'm doing. This is a kind of surf place where there's no wave. I don't understand why people are surfing here, but this is the surfing place, the surfing area. So people are cool, they are relaxed. They are, and this is where you can find the best places as well to eat, because they have this kind of, there are only three restaurants. Huh? The rest of it is just crap. But anyway, that's a different conversation. Apparently, the Malaysian government is selling charity. So this is where I am today. They're selling it, not sure to whom yet. But it does not attract much of tourists.
Okay.
Anyway, so I took these holidays actually to do some inner work, to be able to have the time to meditate. Initially, my idea was to do a vipassana. What a vipassana? And then the people are gonna like me. It's a vipassana. I know, but you don't do vipassana in this kind of environment, right? So, and I knew that my friend is coming with me as well, so we would be chatting, we would be, taking pictures, having fun. So I rename it, like I mixed it with vipassana. So at least every morning and every afternoon I would take time to meditate and do my work and do my inner work. And also because it's the end of the year, there is this season of people who are not yet in the personal development. They're gonna call it the resolution, the New Year resolution. And once you start stepping into the personal development industry or journey, we start calling it goal settings, right? And so I was thinking, because I'm away from my kids, so I don't have to give so much attention to them. It's me, and me for this week. And so I was like, okay, let me get ready for my goals of 2022. And even December, but at least 2022 to see the big picture of it. And somehow, even though I have the tools, I got stuck. Like, I just want to enjoy stepping in my feminine energy, but still I still want to do that process. So I was thinking maybe that would be a nice conversation, so we can teach people how to do goal settings, because it's coming and we need to celebrate that. So do you have any tools, any tips we can use to set our goals? I mean, for normal wordings, it's like, how do we do resolution?
Okay. Well, I don't even call it either of those. I call it more intention setting. Or I think you need to have an intention setting component to it. So when I actually teach people, it's quite complex for me how I teach and take them through goal setting, because I think it's really important to have an intention and kind of, as you speak about, like really connection to the universe, or connection to universal energy, basically, which means that belief that you do some of the work, and you do the inner work particularly. You get to know what you want, you set your intentions, you have a reason, you write down everything you desire. But also on the other end, there's someone else helping you, which is the universe and quantum mechanics at large. Do you know what I mean? So I really believe those are two different components that you need. So you need the desire, you need to take the action, but you also have to have the belief and just let it go. So my process is really quite complicated, but I've actually got some questions written down that I will ask people to fill out, and we can actually, I will maybe create like a downloadable PDF so they can get these questions as well, or we can just put it at the bottom of the episode, because the first step that I have in getting people to look forward to the next year is actually to reflect on the year that they've had. So I don't know if you want to answer some of these questions or even if I want to, but I'll tell you the first question. I'll go through each question and let's see if there's one that you want to use.
Let's just go through the process. I'm very interested about that, and I'm pretty sure that people who are listening to us may be willing as well to play with us in this, because again, all the works that we are showing you, you need to make it as a game, a fun play where it's okay, you started saying it's complicated, but let's show people that it's not that complicated. It's complicated in the sense that maybe when you need to reflect on what happened last year, might not be so good. And especially for me, 2021 was pretty tough. But many of us, definitely, yes, definitely. So, okay, let's just go for it in the process. If I can't answer the question because for time span, we also need to be careful.
I'll tell you what, I'll go through some of the questions that I really want people to start with. I won't go through everything because my process actually takes, in a coaching session over about 3 or 4 sessions. Yeah. It's quite long, but I'll tell you some of the questions that I get people to answer, which is, what are you most proud of accomplishing or achieving throughout this year that we've just had? So that you can start to focus on what you actually have achieved rather than what you haven't. What did you overcome this past year? And that's really important to focus on, what you have actually achieved. And then my next question is, what were some things you intended to accomplish, throughout this last year, but you have not yet? Then the next question is, do you still desire to accomplish these, or are these, something that you want to put to the side and you're not interested in anymore? And then I just have a little bit of a pandemic side note, which is all of us, have been thrown off our path. So when you are completing these questions, just be really gentle with yourself, myself as well. None of us have really had the chance to achieve as much as we would like. So just be gentle and compassionate when answering these questions, but it's still good to see what you have achieved and what you have overcome. The next question is, what are some challenges or obstacles you faced this year? And what did you learn from them? And how did these obstacles or challenges make this an important year for you? So as you said about personal development, challenges really are when we see our resilience, when we find our strengths, and when we see how resourceful and talented we are really in overcoming things. So I want people to really think about what they have learned from the obstacles that we've had this year. And the last one is, what can you commit to letting go of from 2021 so that you can go a little bit more freshly into your dreams and desires for 2022? So they're the questions I think are important to start with in terms of self-reflection and learning. Then I'll go through a process that I do have just for goal setting in general, rather than New Year intention setting. But I love people to start with a visualization. So just closing your eyes and thinking and dreaming. And sometimes I ask people to go to a little island, like somewhere very similar to where you are now, with white sand, lying on the beach, the sun streaming down onto your body and warming you up. And just let your dreams and desires take over. Take a deep breath and see what comes into your mind. What do you want to achieve next year? What is on your heart? And dream big. Forget about, any current things that are holding you back, or that's too big, I can't have that. Just let your heart speak to you. Take a really deep, long breath in and then slowly out, and see what comes to mind. And when you're ready, slowly come out of that. I saw that you actually did that, Sarah.
Yes.
Also, the next step for me is for people to write down what they saw without judgment. Do you want to tell us one thing that you saw since you decided to do that?
So, all right. So definitely this visualization was easy for me because I'm at the beach right now. So definitely it was easy. But definitely it's, what did I see? No judgment, but I saw myself traveling back again, be free of, of all the constraint. The only constraint that I could see in my visualization was the school for my kids. So traveling either the weekend and during holidays, but going out on every holidays that they have. And I saw myself buying a parcel here. Not a parcel, a land. How do you call it? A land, a piece of land here. And because here it's like less than 3 hours drive from KL. So it's really like very nearby. We can easily go for a weekend, after school, the Friday. And yeah, traveling and being here, I can see myself doing my job from here, I mean, I miss some stuff because I like the city, but if I only can do it like during the weekend, that would be just the perfect balance. So this is what that when you told me dream big, and I was like, okay, and then I saw myself traveling first class, but that's big dream. I'm not yet at that stage, but I will. Watch me.
Okay, so let's take the what came up, which was buying a piece of land near the beach, for example. Okay, so imagine if we were taking that, then my next step would be to break that goal down smaller. So let's say into 4 steps. So let's say that the year is split into quarters. What's the first step that you could set as a goal to take towards your larger goal?
Okay, so I can see myself going to the bank, or not necessarily banks, but start asking questions around my network and see what is available as a foreigner to invest here, because as a foreigner we have very pretty rough and tough rules that I can't afford, but because they're selling this piece, maybe, I don't know. So starting asking questions around to get more information about what is available to me. That would be
Amazing.
the first.
Okay. That'll be the first. And don't make it too big. So that's easy. So within the first quarter, within the first 3 months, just information gathering, I suppose you would call that. Yeah. And expanding your mind. So what's really important here, and I love that you said that, it's, you know, see if another foreigner has done it, so that then you sort of see to believe, and then, you know, open up your network, and you're taking one aligned action, but then you're also allowing the universal powers to come and see what they offer you. Do you know what I mean? Speak to a bank, you know, speak to people and put your desire out there. I love that you chose that as your first step, because that is so perfect, because you don't have to just have your goal as go to bank, get money, buy land. You're not allowing, you know, the universe to step in and show you even bigger things, and even, you know, larger opportunities and more synchronicities. So that's a perfect first step. And then imagine that you have, you know, what do you think your second step could be from there?
So I need the first step to be done, okay? And assuming I get the answers that I can afford a land here, and I can, then the next step would be looking around what's available on the market, and if I can have this piece of land nearby the beach, and if not, you know what, it's available again. So that would be more about not the perfect house. I'm not even sure. In my mind, I think I just want the land. I want to build my own house. So that would be a next stage. But first, next, if I break it down, it's going to be like, okay, it's going to be a yes. So then I will look at what is available and which one I feel, you know, more attracted to, which piece of land itself. So really concrete piece of land that I would be willing to buy.
Okay, and I won't get you to go through all 4 steps, because this is a little bit of a different goal than other people may have. But so in my formularies, you break it down into 4 different steps, but you really do have to let go of the how. Do you know what I mean? You have to focus more on the why. So the second part is starting to write down, brainstorm, and think about your intention for this goal, and also your why. Do you know what I mean? So you can give us an example of your why or your intention. Just throw some things out there, just so we, or I can if you want
to. So definitely the why I want that, because I think it's part of the lifestyle that I want to have. I am helping definitely corporate, but we know with this lockdown and this new way of working, some of, you know, the jobs performed in the corporate does not need to be in the office, and I am the proof of it, because I could work. I'm off this week, but I could work here easily. So then there would be my why would be, you know, just creating a new lifestyle that it resonates more with who I am, and with all the energy work that I am doing, I really feel that I could gain more being very close to the nature itself.
Amazing. And what I always love to ask people to think about when they do their why is who in your life will be affected by this as well in a positive way, so that you have not only your own desires, but also the larger effect that this will have on the people around you, or
definitely,
your life, you know, the people.
Definitely my family. So we would still have the lifestyle is not for me to live here 100% of the time, because I'm a city girl, but coming into my 40s, I think, you know, we want to be more connected to nature. So having, you know, 5 days a week, you know, in the city, and then every 2 weeks, maybe sometimes every week, just having, you know, that possibility that, oh, I can go and then just take some space and break to resource myself, to recharge myself. Definitely everyone will benefit from it. And not only me, actually, I won't be the only one taking any benefits from it. My husband for sure, and my kids. my kids, because they're craving the beach, they're coming and joining me tomorrow afternoon, and I look forward to it because they are so, excited, So even if it becomes a new normal, I don't mind, because at least the very first year it's going to be like an adventure and excitement, for them to go to the beach, right? So everyone would benefit from it.
Okay, so the next thing of understanding your intention and your why is to write that down, and then underneath writing that down, and I actually have a self contract that you sign. So maybe we can also add that to the bottom of this. So anyone can use this piece of paper. It has your why and your intention, and then you make a contract with yourself so that you can hold yourself accountable. Yeah. So that's my other step. Yeah. And now this is a really lovely one. I want you to write down your goal as if you have achieved it. So for you, what would that be?
Oh, my goal was like I achieved it.
Wow. So imagine if it was starting a business in 2021. So I would say something like, I'm so, because imagine if I'm getting myself to the end of 2021, I would say, I am so grateful I have started my business and I am making an income, something like that. So as if it has already happened.
I have an exercise for that. It's called the Kyle Lego. It's from Kyle Cease, who wrote beautiful books, and he's a comedian in US, but he's a coach, a spiritual coach, and it's crazily amazing. And he did create an exercise which called Kyle Lego, and it's so powerful. I'm using it in my corporate training, by the way, because it's really powerful. Similar to it, but you attach more emotions to it as well. But if I were to write down my my goal as I achieved it, as like by the end of 2022 would be
No, as if you have achieved it. Yeah.
Oh, fully. No timeline. Okay, right, because time is man-made. As I fully achieved it would be I created this new lifestyle where I mix city center and beach lifestyle all together, and it fulfills us.
Amazing. So you write that down in whatever way resonates with you, and then on a daily basis you either have that written somewhere, on your computer, on your bathroom thing. I love it. I've got a mirror, where I do my makeup, and I write my goals there, so you see it all the time. Or you have a reminder on your phone. Or something that's even more powerful is if you have a journaling practice, or like we were talking about, a gratitude practice along with your gratitude. And sometimes I do this when I'm working on an actual goal. You're like, I'm grateful that I had food today. I'm grateful I saw my friend, and I am grateful that I'm healthy. And on the end, you say, I have my business and I am achieving and, earning an income every week. So you're just writing it down and constantly reinforcing it, but you are allowing the how to be taken care of by greater forces. You need to be doing something every day. You need to be believing in it. You need to have set your intention and your goal. And you also need to know who it's going to affect on it, and it is guaranteed it will come into existence, along the path of least resistance, if you believe in it. And the best thing is, this is where triggers come up, this is where blocks come up, this is where your fears, your unworthiness, and then that all triggers a whole waterfall of work that you can do on yourself. But please, so for Sarah, buying a piece of land is probably pretty accessible to you, the same way you said flying first class. Now, while you can get there, I really recommend not to have goals, that feel too far out of reach. So for me, buying a piece of land, in Malaysia by the beach is really not where I'm at. Do you know what I mean? I would love that, but for me, I need to make a goal that's a bit closer to me. So I just want to really, give that, because I believe that you can actually have anything you want, but you also have to get your self-worth there. Do you know what I mean? You have to also get your what do we call it? Your regulation. Oh, what is that system called? Your sympathetic nervous system has to be ready for it. Do you know what I mean? For you to go to that next level. So it really is important to set goals that are not super achievable, but that are not ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? Flying first class every, week or whatever. It can happen, but it will take time and make a goal that's a little bit more achievable.
Yeah.
And that's my process. That's one of them anyway.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. I like it. I really like it. And I feel that rather than rushing into the 1st January and say, okay, now this year I'm going to do this, pressuring yourself. And then after 2 weeks, you're like, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore. It's bullshit. Thing is that one big lesson that I've learned in the past, I was this kind of person, setting up my resolution 2 weeks after, giving up on them and say, that's bullshit, it's not working. And I'm, and I stopped building up, on my, I stopped building up my dreams. I stopped dreaming. I stopped, I was just doing without foreseeing what could comes next, visualizing, dreaming. And I wrote a post about that, that I probably will make it as an article in my blog. But that's the thing is that I stopped dreaming at that time. I really stopped that. And what I get out of it, I got shit. Seriously. My life starting go off the road. Because I was no longer in control about what I want from life, what I want for my life, for the coming months, for the coming years. And I just was like, I'm happy, all is good, thank you, that's it. Not building up anything. And then slowly my life started getting off the road. Until, I was completely in denial. I didn't want to see it. And then boom, big time happened. The hurt one, the pain one. And that was too late, because I was not working on a specific goal. I was working on nothing. I was just trying to cope with 3 young kids, with a newborn. My last one was a newborn at that stage. And then I was just like, damn, what happened? And I had a hard time then to get back in my life and then to create that momentum again. And the only things that helped me staying on the path of what I wanted to become was to set up goals, having dreams, and say, okay, and yes, dreams needs to be accessible because otherwise they are just dreams. But which means that also you need to start working towards them. This is one of my dreams, but I have many others that I can work on. And so definitely please never give up on setting up goals or setting up intention about what you want from life, because this is things that you can be in control rather than forcing yourself controlling things that you can't control. So, and then you're going to move forward. Ultimately, you're going to move forward to your goals. And then after that, we call it the quantum leap, which is slightly different and complete different conversation though. But yes, it was the hard lesson. And so definitely I will not go back there. I want to set up my goals. I want to know what I want from this life and how I'm going to achieve it. Not really like the how, like, okay, blah, 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 trying to set up from A to Z, the process, but more like what would be my first step? If I want to go into that road of this goal, buying a piece of land, exactly like the process that I just follow, what would be my first step? Asking question around. It's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal, but it's already considered from the universe, God, whatever you call it, it's already considered like, okay, she is committed to achieve that goal, because she showed that she started having conversation with people about that specific topic. So it's going to be received like you're really committed to have that. Where when in the past I was doing resolution and I was like, bullshit, I'm not doing it, it's too hard. Of course, because I was just expecting that magic happened to me, and I have nothing to do about it, and it just come. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. Mm-hmm. So
and the thing is, like, you know, if you, like with the piece of land, if you just get to January 1st, 2021, and you think you just sort of have to actually buy the piece of land, like that is making your goal come true, that's where we all give up. Do you know what I mean? It's like going to the gym. You get the gym membership, you think, oh, that goal's going to happen. But, you know, it's the consistency of going and taking the small steps. That's why that step there where you have to break it down, that's why it's really important, because you can't go from 0 to 100. But once you take that first step and you put it out into the universe, you're so much more likely to take the second and the third, particularly if you know what they are. Do you know what I mean? And you have a guide, and then things will evolve and change as you go. But
yeah, definitely.
It's very exciting. But I also think the first step always is self-reflecting on the year that you had.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well said. Yes, I believe that too. Yes, agree. It shows your commitment to yourself.
And it also makes you stop and think what you have achieved. We always achieve so much more than we think. Like perhaps, you know, you don't get to the end of next year and have your piece of land, but you have got even bigger goals. Do you know what I mean? You've ended up buying an apartment in Malaysia for some reason because you realized that's what you wanted. You have ended up, you know, creating a new business with someone out of it. You have ended up learning a lot of lessons about money, and you end up saving a lot more. Do you know what I mean? You can, just from going after your goals, you can actually have a whole lot of momentum and movement in your personal growth. And you absolutely need to stop and take time to reflect and appreciate how far you've come. Not just worrying about where you're going, but how far you've come, how good you are, how much you've learned, how much you can ground in the fact that you can get things done, and you are increasing your self-belief by looking at what you have achieved, what you have overcome, what you have learned, and who you've become.
Yes, who have you become? I think that's probably the best question, is that who you want to become with this dream. Who it's going to make you becoming if you achieve that dream. What kind of person will you be? And that's, I love it. All right. So thank you very much for sharing this beautiful process, Angela. I think that really helps people to go and have definitely a process how to do it. If you need any help, you can always reach out to Angela for the goal setting. I also offer a similar process for goal settings. So definitely you can always reach out to us. If you have any question, please use the email address that we have set it up only for you. And we're going to make sure we answer all your questions. So really just don't forget to set up your goals, your intention, your resolution, whatever you call it, but please be in control of your own life. And we really hope that this episode help you build the momentum of this year. And we wish you happy holidays, everyone, for those who start your holidays. And see you very soon.
Yeah, and get excited for 2022 and everything that we can do, and hopefully all the freedom and normality we will experience next year.
Yes. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it, and every time you listen, we truly appreciate it. And if you would like to follow me or learn more about my work or get in contact with me, please go to my website, which is angelajanecoaching.com.
And if you want to know more about my work, you can go on sarahmeng.com. All the details are going to be listed in a comment below. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram or Facebook, where we are sharing our daily tips.
Bye.
Hope to see you soon.